It's official, these cans have been canned. Some of your favorite soups are no longer available for purchase. Customers even write to brands begging for their favorite soups to return. Here are 20 canned soups you'll never buy again. First up, we have the classic Campbell's Chunky Chicken Corn Chowder. This creamy concoction was a staple for many families in the 90s and early 2000s. It combined tender chicken, sweet corn, and a rich, creamy base that was oh so satisfying. Now, soups were everywhere in the 90s, so what made this one stand out in the canned soup aisle? Well, it was the chunky texture. Plus, it was the classic hot meal for a cold day. Originating from Campbell's, a brand known for its iconic soups, Chunky Chicken Corn Chowder was part of the Chunky line, which aimed to provide more filling options. It's rumored that this soup's popularity soared thanks to its frequent appearances in TV commercials and endorsements by celebrities. Yeah, remember that soup advertisement with former NFL player and current sports analyst Jerome Bettis? Sadly, this soup seems to have disappeared without a trace. I mean, what's a soup without corn? It's like pizza without cheese. Next up, we have lentil soup from Progresso. Now, I know what you're thinking. Lentil soup? Really? But trust me, this wasn't your grandma's lentil soup. Progresso kicked it up a notch with roasted veggies, giving it a smoky, flavorful twist. It was a great way to sneak in some extra protein and fiber. This was one of the healthiest canned meals out there, and its taste spoke for itself. Lentils have been a staple food for centuries, dating back to ancient Egypt and Rome. They're packed with nutrients and are a great source of plant-based protein. Progresso's version took this traditional dish and gave it a modern twist with roasted vegetables. Lentils are still loved in many countries in Asia, but the States have had enough of this protein option. Unfortunately, this particular variety has been discontinued, but it was a great example of how Progresso was always experimenting with new and exciting flavors. This soup might not be for everyone, but it was definitely a dish that had people licking food off their fingers. Now, let's talk about Amy's Tuscan bean and rice soup. Amy's is renowned for its organic and natural products, and this soup was no exception. This was a vegetarian's dream come true. It was creamy, flavorful, and packed with protein. And let's not forget that this soup was organic, so you could feel good about eating it. Tuscan cuisine is known for its simplicity and use of fresh ingredients. Bean soups, like this one, are a classic part of the Tuscan diet. Amy's commitment to using high-quality organic ingredients made this soup a favorite among health-conscious eaters. The Tuscan bean and rice soup was a perfect example of how canned soups could be both delicious and nutritious. It was all the rage for fitness freaks, and they still call for a comeback. Okay, now let's spice things up a bit with this next one. Hines cream of tomato soup with a kick of chili was a bold twist on the classic tomato soup. Hines, a brand famous for tomato soup, decided to add a little extra kick to this spicy version. The result was a creamy tomato base with a delightful hint of chili heat, perfect for those who like their tomato soup with a bit of a punch. The history of Heinz tomato soup dates back to 1897 when Heinz first introduced their classic recipe. This spicier variant was a fun, limited-time addition to their lineup, but it seems it didn't stick around for long. Still, it remains a memorable flavor for those who had the chance to try it. All right, let's get a little weird with it. We're talking about Campbell's mock turtle soup. Now, before you wrinkle your nose, hear me out. This wasn't actually made from turtles. It was a Victorian-era concoction made with beef, veal, and sometimes even calf's head. Campbell's mock turtle soup might sound like something out of a fairy tale, but it was a real-life favorite for many. This soup was inspired by the traditional English dish, mock turtle soup, which was created as a more affordable alternative to the expensive turtle soup. The result was a unique, somewhat exotic flavor that set it apart from more common soups. The name mock turtle was just a fancy way of saying it was a fancy soup. Mock turtle soup was a popular dish in the 19th century. It was often served at grand dinners and banquets. Unfortunately, this historical recipe has long been discontinued, but it still holds a special place in the culinary world's history books. Campbell's oyster stew was another unique entry in Campbell's lineup. This soup featured oysters in a creamy, buttery broth, a delicacy for seafood lovers. Oyster stew has roots in early American cuisine, especially in coastal areas where fresh oysters were abundant. Campbell's oyster stew was a way for people to enjoy the luxurious taste of oysters without needing to go to a seafood restaurant. Oyster stew is a traditional dish that has been enjoyed for centuries. It is believed to have originated in England. While it may not have been everyone's cup of tea, it was a notable attempt to bring a bit of seafood elegance to the canned soup aisle. Amy's organic lentil vegetable soup was a crowd pleaser for those who loved a hearty vegetable-packed soup. What's not to love about a healthy soup that tastes just as good? With its blend of lentils and a variety of vegetables, this soup was both filling and nutritious. Amy's has always been a champion of organic and wholesome ingredients, and this soup was no different. It catered to health-conscious consumers who wanted a quick, easy meal without compromising on quality. The canned aisle didn't have many healthy options back then, so this lentil vegetable soup was all the rage. Speaking of vegetable soups, the Trader Joe's sweet potato bisque was a creamy, sweet treat that was beloved by many. This soup featured a rich, velvety texture with the natural sweetness of sweet potatoes. It was a great option for those looking for something a little different from the usual savory soups. Trader Joe's is known for its unique and seasonal products, and this sweet potato bisque was a standout for its flavor and quality. This one often made a grand appearance in the fall when sweet potatoes were in their prime. Unfortunately, it was a limited-time offering and has since been discontinued, but with the rise of easy, quick Trader Joe meals, I can see this one making a comeback to the soup aisle soon. All right, let's talk about this Campbell's Homestyle chicken noodle soup. This was a vegetarian's dream come true. It was creamy, flavorful, and packed with protein with a combination of white beans, rice, and spinach. Campbell's. This particular variety gained popularity in many states, especially in the Midwest, where hearty soups are a staple in comfort food cuisine. One of the most memorable aspects of Campbell's Homestyle chicken noodle soup was its iconic advertising campaign. The ads featured the chunky soup label prominently and were often endorsed by celebrity athletes like NFL stars. Interestingly, Campbell's even made a point to highlight the homemade quality of the soup in their marketing, suggesting that it was made with the same care and attention as if it were prepared in a family kitchen. Chicken noodle soup has a long history as a go-to comfort food, and Campbell's Homestyle version aimed to take that tradition to the next level. Despite its popularity, this version eventually fell off the shelves. Progresso Italian wedding soup. This was a classic for a reason. I mean, who doesn't love a bowl of warm, comforting soup filled with tiny meatballs, spinach, and carrots? It was like a little taste of Italy in a can. Perfect for a cozy day in. Despite the name, Italian wedding soup isn't traditionally served at weddings in Italy. It's believed the name comes from the idea that it's a hearty and celebratory soup, perfect for a special occasion. The Italian wedding soup has roots in Southern Italian cuisine and was brought to America by Italian immigrants. Progresso's version was a convenient way to enjoy this classic dish at home. Though it's no longer available, it was a beloved choice for those who enjoyed a taste of Italy. So, this creamy roasted chicken with herb dumpling soup was a total game changer. I mean, chicken soup just got a major upgrade. The broth was rich and flavorful, and those herb dumplings were the perfect addition. Chicken soup has been used as a remedy for colds and flu for centuries. Some believe it has medicinal properties, although the science is still debated. So, why did creamy roasted chicken with herb dumpling soup disappear from our shelves? Well, shifting consumer tastes and a focus on lighter, healthier options meant this rich, creamy classic just couldn't keep up. Plus, Campbell's had to streamline their lineup to make room for new favorites. This soup was known for its hearty and filling nature, making it a popular choice for families looking for a quick and satisfying meal, and it's missed dearly. Let's talk about Pepperidge Farm Hunter's Soup. Pepperidge Farm, known for its high-quality baked goods and foods, introduced this soup to offer a substantial, flavorful option for busy families looking for a quick yet satisfying meal. A fun twist? The soup's name and concept were influenced by the company's commitment to capturing the essence of wholesome, country-style cooking in a convenient can. This was a hearty, meaty soup that was perfect for those cold winter days. It was packed with chunks of beef, carrots, and potatoes, and it had this rich, savory broth that was just incredible. Hunter's soup is believed to have originated in England as a meal for hunters to warm themselves up after a long day. It was a favorite among those who enjoyed a more meaty soup. Okay, brace yourselves. We're talking about Hines kidney soup. Now, I know what you're thinking. Kidney beans? But trust me, this wasn't your average bean soup. It was thick, hearty, and packed with flavor. It was a staple in many households, and I'm honestly surprised it's no longer on the shelves. Kidney beans are a good source of protein and fiber. They're also versatile ingredients that can be used in a variety of dishes. The soup was part of Heinz's effort to offer a variety of options beyond their famous tomato soup. While it may not have been as popular as some of their other offerings, it was appreciated by those who enjoyed its distinctive flavor. It's no longer available, but it remains a notable part of Heinz's soup history. Now, who doesn't love a good clam chowder? And this Panera Bread version was absolutely incredible. It was creamy, rich, and packed with clams. It was the perfect comfort food, especially when paired with a crusty piece of bread. Panera Bread clam chowder was a creamy seafood chowder that brought a taste of Panera's bakery cafe experience to the canned soup aisle. This soup was a favorite for those who loved seafood. Clam chowder is a classic New England dish. There were two main types: New England clam chowder, which is creamy, and Manhattan clam chowder, which is tomato-based. Panera Bread's clam chowder was inspired by the classic New England-style chowder, which has been a staple in American cuisine for centuries. One of the most iconic ways to enjoy Panera's clam chowder was in their famous sourdough bread bowl. This one unfortunately fell out of flavor, but Panera Bread's other soups continue to be enjoyed by many. The classic Franco American spaghetti and meatballs. Did you know Franco American spaghetti and meatballs was one of the first canned pasta meals to bring a taste of Italy to busy American families in the 1930s? I'm not sure why they discontinued this, but it's a major loss for the canned soup aisle. This was a childhood staple for so many of us. The sweet tomato sauce, the tender meatballs, and the perfectly cooked spaghetti. It was comfort food perfection in a can. Franco American was known for its ready-to-eat meals, and this particular offering was a favorite among those who wanted a taste of Italian food without the hassle of cooking. While spaghetti and meatballs are often associated with Italian cuisine, the dish actually originated in Naples, Italy. Although it's no longer available, it was a popular choice for families looking for a convenient meal. Let's talk about a classic: Hormel chili with beans. This was the ultimate game day food, or perfect for a cozy night in. It was hearty, flavorful, and packed with protein. Chili is believed to have originated in Texas, though its exact origins are debated. It's a popular dish with many regional variations. Hormel chili with beans was a classic canned chili option that brought a spicy kick and hearty beans to the table. Hormel, a brand known for its canned meat products, introduced this chili as a quick and satisfying meal for those who loved a bit of heat and a lot of flavor. Chili itself has a long history, with roots in Tex-Mex cuisine. Hormel's version aimed to capture that rich, spicy essence in a convenient can. Its combination of seasoned beef, beans, and spices made it a favorite among chili enthusiasts. Even though Hormel still has plenty of other chili options, this one has been discontinued. But if you ever feel adventurous, you can try whipping this one at home to satisfy the ultimate spice craving. Okay, this one is a bit of a wild card, but hear me out. B&M brown bread in a can was a pantry staple for many families. It was perfect for sandwiches or toasted with butter. It was so convenient and always tasted great. Brown bread is a type of bread made with molasses or dark corn syrup. It's often associated with New England cuisine. B&M brown bread in a can was a unique offering that combined convenience with tradition. This bread was a New England classic known for its dense, sweet flavor and the soup's distinctive can packaging. The history of B&M brown bread dates back to the early 1900s when the company first introduced it as a way to provide a convenient, ready-to-eat bread option. Although it's no longer as widely available, it remains a cherished part of New England's culinary history. So Progresso Hardy tomato soup was a thicker, more substantial version of the classic tomato soup. Progresso, known for its wide variety of soups, created this version to offer a richer, more satisfying tomato soup experience. Tomato soup was originally considered a luxury item when it was first introduced to the United States. It wasn't until the late 19th century that it became more widely available. This soup featured tomato flavor with a thicker, creamier texture compared to standard tomato soups. It was a favorite for those who wanted a more filling option without sacrificing the comforting taste of tomato soup. This one has fallen off the shelves, but tomato soup lovers still daydream about it. Okay, this next soup was straight out of a vegetarian's dream. Amy's organic split pea soup was a wholesome, flavorful option for those who loved the classic split pea soup with a modern organic twist. Split pea soup's origins can be traced back to ancient Greece and Rome, where it was a staple in the diet due to its simplicity and nourishing qualities. Amy's commitment to high-quality organic ingredients made this soup a favorite among health-conscious consumers. Split pea soup has been enjoyed for centuries, with its roots in European cuisine. Amy's version aimed to bring that traditional flavor to a wider audience while maintaining a focus on organic ingredients. All right, last but not least, we have Campbell's Select Harvest Mexican-style chicken tortilla soup. The combination of chicken, corn, black beans, and tortilla strips was pure perfection, and adding a squeeze of lime and some avocado for an extra kick was like the cherry on top. It was like a little taste of Mexico in every spoonful. Yeah, this one screams Mexico. It was inspired by street vendors of Ciudad de Mexico. Mexican-style soups have a rich history, with traditional recipes passed down through generations. Campbell's version aimed to capture that authentic taste in a convenient can. Well, all good things come to an end, and sadly this classic was abandoned after living its days out. So did any of these classic canned soups stir up tasty memories? If so, like this video, click subscribe and stay tuned for more nostalgia trips.